Imagine spending $80,000 on a tractor and still needing permission to fix it. That's not a hypothetical. That's what happened to a Missouri farmer named Jared Wilson. His spreader broke down during planting season. He called his John Deere dealer. They told him 28 days before anyone could come out, not because the part was missing, not because the machine was beyond repair, but because the software locked everyone else out. When Wilson complained, the dealer's manager told him, on the record, that he was not a profitable customer. That line made it into federal court, and on May 18, 2026, John Deere lost. A judge granted preliminary approval to a $99 million settlement requiring Deere to open their diagnostic software to farmers and independent shops, with a 10-year commitment by December 31st of this year. But something else happened along the way. A lot of farmers stopped waiting for Deere to change. They started looking elsewhere. And that's where this story gets interesting. Why this matters right now. This lawsuit landed at the worst possible time for Deere, because American farmers right now are already under pressure from every direction. Farm debt is heading for a record $624 billion this year. Farm bankruptcies jumped 46% last year. And when Purdue surveyed farmers at the start of 2026, only 4% said they plan to increase equipment purchases. 4%. People who need machinery to survive, choosing not to buy because they can't afford it. Right to Repair advocates estimate that software lockouts across the major brands are costing farmers up to $4.2 billion a year in dealer markups and preventable downtime, about $3,400 per farm per year, just to get your own equipment diagnosed. Deere sits at the center of that fight, and the settlement is a start, but it doesn't cap what they can charge for access. The FTC antitrust case is still alive and in discovery. So if you need a tractor right now and you're rethinking whether to hand more money to a company that just got dragged through court, the question becomes, what are the alternatives? Mahindra. If you've spent any time in farming communities, you've heard the name Mahindra. Maybe you drove past a dealership and kept going. Maybe someone told you parts take months. Maybe you figured it was a cheap brand that wouldn't hold up. Here's what you should know before you dismiss it. Mahindra is the world's #1 tractor brand by global volume, 16 consecutive years running. They've been selling tractors in America since 1994. Last July, they crossed 300,000 tractors sold in the US. They're the most purchased tractor brand on earth, and they've been on American soil for 32 years, and yet a lot of Americans still barely know them. Now, I know the objections. I've heard every one of them directly. No enclosed cabs, parts take forever. The newer engines still need a laptop. Terrible resale, not enough dealers. Every one of those deserves an honest answer, and that's exactly what you're going to get. The Honest Buyer's Guide. Question 1. Mahindra doesn't have enclosed cabs. This was true. It's no longer true. Their new 2100 series, built on a joint platform with Mitsubishi, includes a factory-built enclosed cab with heat and air conditioning. The 2126 HST cab, 26 horsepower, is selling right now for around $23,000 to $27,000 after dealer discounts. The 1635 HST cab, 36 horsepower, is landing in the $29,000 to $34,000 range. Street prices vary by dealer. Those are real-world figures we're seeing. Is the fit and finish as refined as a Kubota cab? Honestly, no. But the Mahindra doesn't have cabs objection is outdated. It's gone. Question 2. The parts situation is a nightmare. This one is still partly true, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. BBB complaints against Mahindra show documented waits of weeks, sometimes months, for specialized components. One owner waited 2 months for engine mounts. Another waited 6 months for a part on the 6075. Here's where I draw the line. Basic maintenance, filters, belts, glow plugs, most of that comes through Next Day Online. Mahindra-compatible filter kits are on Amazon. Glow plugs for the older S3L engines have cross-reference numbers that work through Napa and ship in a couple of days. The problem is specialized mechanical components on newer models. If a 2-week downtime during planting season could wreck your year, that's a real risk you need to weigh. Know which situation you're in before you sign anything. Question 3. The newer engines still need a laptop. How is that any different from Deere? Fair question, and one Mahindra's own marketing tends to skip past. Yes, the newer MCRD common rail engines need software to read fault codes properly. Generic OBD readers connect but often return wrong codes. Here's the actual difference. Mahindra's system runs on a standard laptop with their Garuda software. Dealer tool costs around $600. Compare that to John Deere's Service Advisor. Annual subscription running into thousands of dollars, dealer-only hardware, and proprietary authorization just to install a replacement part you already bought and hold in your hand. There's also a third-party option. Jaltist Agricultural's diagnostic kit covers Mahindra and dozens of other brands. You can order it online. No locked ecosystem. Is it as simple as an old mechanical tractor? No. Is it the software prison Deere built? Not even close. Question 4. The resale value is terrible. Real. And you should factor it in. Used Mahindras depreciate faster than Kubota and Deere. Auction buyers and used dealers consistently report this, sometimes half of what it costs new in just a few years. But here's the question that actually matters. Are you buying a tractor to flip or to work? If you're trading up every 3 to 5 years, Kubota is probably the smarter play. If you're keeping it 15 to 20 years and running it until the wheels come off, the way most farmers in this audience actually operate, you're paying $8,000 to $15,000 less up front for a machine that owners report doing the same work for the same length of time. Finance a $12,000 price gap over 5 years, and you're actually looking at closer to $15,000 in real cost. For some of you, that's a year's worth of diesel and seed. Question 5. There aren't enough dealers. Partly true. Mahindra has several hundred U.S. tractor dealers. They cite over 500 across North America, compared to Kubota's roughly 1,100 and Deere's over 2,200. If the nearest dealer is 90 minutes away and something breaks, that matters. Look up local dealer coverage before you commit, not after. One piece of good news. Mahindra recently moved a chunk of North American tractor production into a 400,000 square foot facility in Pontiac, Michigan, a former GM plant. That should improve parts distribution going forward. But check your local situation first. This one's non-negotiable. The Deere situation right now. So while Mahindra is working to fix its footprint here, John Deere is dealing with a very different kind of problem. The settlement gives farmers access to diagnostic tools, but it doesn't cap what Deere can charge for that access. Fair and reasonable terms still gets defined on their end. The FTC antitrust case is still in discovery and could go much further. Meanwhile, Deere is moving skid steer and compact track loader production from Dubuque, Iowa, to a new plant in Ramos, Mexico, done by end of this year. They've cut over 2,000 U.S. jobs since late 2023. Now, Deere still runs over 60 U.S. facilities and has pledged $20 billion in domestic investment. This isn't a collapse story, but for farmers watching debt pile up while Deere reports billions in profit and fights in court over repair access, the frustration is completely legitimate. One farmer said it cleanly online. I don't need a computer with a satellite link to plant corn. I need something I can fix in my driveway on a Sunday morning without calling anyone. That's not a complicated ask. What should you actually buy? Let's be practical about this. If you're farming 100 acres or more as your primary income, need zero downtime tolerance and trade equipment every few years. Kubota or a pre-software Deere probably still makes sense. The dealer network and resale liquidity are real advantages when your livelihood depends on it. If you're running under 100 acres, small livestock, hobby farm, rural acreage, and want a solid 20 to 40 horsepower machine for significantly less money, Mahindra deserves serious consideration. The model I'd look at first is the 1,635 to 36 horsepower open station or cab, mid $20,000 to mid $30,000 depending on spec, cast iron chassis. On the 1,600 series, you get a 7-year, 3,000-hour limited powertrain warranty. A comparable Kubota or Deere cab will run you $10,000 to $15,000 more for the same job. If you want to look up parts compatibility before you buy, Mahindra-specific maintenance kits and third-party diagnostic tools are available online, worth having before you need them. And if you're cross-shopping, don't skip Kioti. Around 450 U.S. dealers, competitive pricing, cab quality has improved significantly. LS and TYM are worth a look too. These Korean brands are serious, and a lot of buyers overlook them completely. Whatever you land on, visit the dealer, test drive it, talk to the service manager, not just the salesman. You're buying the relationship as much as the machine. The bigger picture. Here's what this whole debate is really about. A survey of farmers found that 77% had deliberately bought older used equipment just to avoid modern software. Nearly 8 in 10 farmers choosing older technology because new machines are too locked down to service. A fourth-generation Nebraska rancher bought a 1995 John Deere 7800 in 2020 because his mechanic told him that was the newest model he could actually fix without getting locked out. Buying 25-year-old iron in 2020 because of software. There's a generation of American farmers who kept equipment running for 30 and 40 years because they understood every bolt on it. With repair costs up 41% since 2020 and a debt at record levels, that self-reliance isn't just nostalgia anymore. For a lot of farms, it's the margin between staying open and not. Before you buy anything, ask yourself what I call the Sunday morning test. If this breaks down during planning week, can you diagnose it, order the part, and be running again in 48 hours? Without calling a dealer, without authorization codes, without a subscription? The brand on the hood is secondary. That answer isn't. John Deere is being held accountable, finally, for something farmers have been living with for years. The settlement is a start. The FTC case could go further. But the legal process takes years, and you need a tractor now. Mahindra isn't perfect. Thin dealer coverage, parts delays on specialized components, slower resale value, those are real, and you should know them going in. But they're the world's #1 tractor brand for a reason. They build machines that still lean toward owner-serviceable over software-locked. And in an economy where farm debt is at $624 billion and 4 out of 100 farmers are planning to buy new equipment, that still means something. So here's what I want from the comments. Real experiences, not brand loyalty. Have you looked seriously at Mahindra, Kioti, or any non-Deere brand recently? What stopped you, or what pushed you over the edge to buy one? Real farmer experiences from this audience are worth more than anything I can tell you. Drop it below. If this helped your research, a like tells YouTube to show it to more farmers making the same decision. And if you want to see a full head-to-head test, Mahindra 1635 against a comparable Kubota, and a used pre-software Deere, same jobs, same conditions, subscribe and leave a comment. That video is being planned. See you in the next one.